Maybe it's just a bad network because it's raining hard over there or something.
Maybe so because my electricity was flickering off and on. So it probably
Yeah,
is something going on over here.
that's probably exactly what it is. But girl, yes, you sipping your wine, girl.
Yes, ma'am.
Girl,
I
I haven't
have
made my
the
margarita
Stella
yet.
Rosa Black. It tastes so sweet and good.
What
Kroger's
is
had
it
it on
called?
red. It's Stella Rosa Black, but it's a real sweet red wine. It's real smooth and good.
Oh, that's what I need in my life. Text that name
Kroger.
to me later on. Because every time I get a wine because I'm trying it and I always get a bitter one by mistake. So like I tried Dark Horse. I thought that was gonna be good. It wasn't.
Yeah, I
Too
got this actually from somebody I seen on Facebook with it because, like I said, Kroger's been having the wine on sale. They reading people mind, and
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try that." When I seen Kroger's having it on sale, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try it," and it's good.
I drove down the road and saw so many people at Total Wine and Specs. I just started laughing. So I had to go inside too and give me some tequila. Woo! For my little get my mixed drinks and everything. And then they had the tape, where people had to stand 6 feet apart. I said, "Oh my
Yeah,
goodness."
yeah,
Walgreens
it's
is like
it's been
that too.
crazy. Yeah, it's been crazy. I seen. I went to Family Dollar yesterday. They had a sign up saying no more than 10 people in the store. If you were with somebody and you weren't buying anything, they were asking you to leave the store. So
Wow.
everybody's
I mean,
everybody's taking their precautions.
I just want to know, like, how did this happen? Like, why? It's
Yeah.
literally what's happening now has changed the world forever.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For unfortunately, like even after this is over with, there are some people who will definitely be different, totally different people. They will treat you totally different, and it's like you can't even be necessarily mad at them because we all will be traumatized. There will be a lot of people who will be traumatized literally after this.
Hmm. I agree.
People, I do believe there will be people who used to be known for hugging and loving on people who will no longer do that anymore. They're going to be afraid now.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I
Wow.
because it's that's what literally this for some people this says I think is going to become like such a real norm for them even afterward.
Right. Yeah, this situation definitely ingrains into your mind, into your everything, your being, because
Yeah.
to see the number of gloves and face masks out, in the stores. I didn't go inside of the stores, but I saw people leaving their cars, going inside. I said to myself, last month, people didn't take this as something real. We're in April. Just this is what date is it? The third day
The
in.
third. Mhm.
Yeah, and people are treating it finally like a pandemic, and I'm like, wow, this is really it's getting real.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, in some ways, yeah, you're right. It's so many people who at first they did not take this seriously and that are now, now they're seeing that this is real. I mean, by this at this point, if you don't know you've known somebody personally or in some way you know somebody who has been affected at this point by this virus.
Right. I know somebody actually, but I can't,
Yeah,
say. But yeah.
we both know someone. We both know.
Mhm.
I know for sure. I know at least two people for sure. That's counting the person me and you know. So
Mhm.
we yes, that's what I say. But at this point, um, we all know somebody who
Mhm. Yeah.
you know
Mhm.
by just by passing, in passing. At this point, you know somebody who you are praying for who is coming through this virus.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, it feels unreal. It's surreal.
Oh
Everything that
yeah.
we're going through, everything that we're witnessing. Do you know that we'll be telling our grandkids, great grandchildren that hey, we lived through this time? We're
Oh
literally living
yeah. Oh yeah.
through history that's gonna be
Yeah.
documented one day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You even have I seen a story on the news today that I thought was pretty fascinating that I thought like you, like this is going to be in our history, our children's history books. There
Mm-hmm.
was a challenge put out by a photographer asking other photographers to don't feel the need to go buy anything, but just go around and take pictures of people on their front porches outside, just you know, and making the best of their situation.
That's right.
And it was really cool to see different families just posing for the camera, for this for their photographer in their neighborhood. But there was one picture in particular that took everybody, of course, like really made you think. But there was this guy. He was sitting in front of his front lawn with the table, with the dinner table, with candles on the dinner table, like with a plate set for someone else, but the other plate was set for his wife, who is a nurse, who's been at the hospitals working 13-hour days. And she's not coming. She's not coming home. She hasn't like he. Today they did a FaceTime interview with him and his wife, and she
Uh-huh.
said that today was her first day off in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That's
yeah. If
crazy.
you, yeah, to see the picture, it definitely almost made me cry to see him sitting there at the table, basically showing that he misses his wife and he wanted her home for dinner.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, it's tough. It's tough on everybody.
it is.
A lot of us, some of us have the opportunity or the luxury to work from home, and I tell you, it's stressful because the things that you can convey in person are not the same things that you can convey through internet, and we're human. We make mistakes. We're all under stress right now. Most of us, especially the people who have children that are at home.
Mhm.
When it hasn't been to daycare in over a month. So every day that I'm working from home, I'm also having to take care of her as well. My husband still has to go to work physically.
Yeah, see,
There's so many Americans that still have to, like the lady you mentioned, people have to get up and get out here in this every single day. So, I
yeah,
mean, it
yeah. Like,
really is something else.
oh yeah, like I know myself personally. I do have to still go to work. Fortunately, the last few days, I've been off. I fortunately, not knowing that this was going to happen, I had been asked for some PTO, some time off at this time, and it just so happened to be the right time, of course, that I really needed the break. But yeah,
Mhm.
I still been having to get up and go to work. Because of what I do on my 9 to 5, I still have to get up and go to work and just pray, and just pray
Absolutely.
and do my best to keep myself safe. Um, but and just believe. I am trusting and believing that God has me and my family covered. But it's definitely something. You definitely are exercising your faith when you leave your house now.
Oh,
Who
yes, every
would have
single
thought?
time.
Who would have ever thought just to leave your house causes you to exercise your faith?
Yeah, but I mean that should be every day. But can you tell
Yeah.
people that are listening to our show, like what are the precautionary steps that you take when you get up and you get ready to go to work? What things do you bring with you to ensure your safety while you're out in the public?
Well, I have hand sanitizer hooked on my keys. I have hand sanitizer in the car. I have I have a spray bottle with alcohol in it. I'm spraying down my purse as soon as I get in from work every day. When I get in from the house, period, I spray my
Mhm.
purse down with alcohol, and I immediately take off my clothes. My family already knows. Don't try to give me any love when I come through the door, uh,
Yeah.
because I want to immediately strip myself down, take a shower, get myself cleaned up, and then, of course, put on some fresh clothes, and then I can carry on with my family. But
Right.
otherwise, I don't. That's the safety precautions I'm taking. As I'm getting in and out of the car, I'm using my hand sanitizer. Um, that's what I'm doing. Um,
Yeah. No,
and
that
I t-
sounds thorough. Yeah.
and I tell you something funny though that I found myself doing the other day. I went to the grocery store, and I didn't have any. I didn't wear a face mask, and so because I understand for the most part they say the face mask is up in the air, so I didn't wear a face mask. But I found myself, of course, if I was about to go on an owl and I seen it was more than a couple of people on the owl, I was like, no, I'll come back around to this owl.
Avoid it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I if I did happen to pass up somebody on the aisle, I found myself trying to shuffle past you, like turn my head the other way away from you, and I literally created my own little shuffle move so
Right.
that we were keeping our distance from each other. And I really felt kind of bad, but it was like that's what's going on now.
Well, that's where we are with things. I mean, I don't blame you. It was interesting. I saw certain people inside of Specs wearing gloves. I wore gloves myself because I don't know whose hands touched, whatever bottle. And but I saw this older lady. She had her face mask on and her gloves, but her daughter came in with neither. So I just think it's interesting to watch some people who are kind of like, well, if I get it, I get it. And on the other extreme, it's like, oh my God, I don't want to get this. Let me just make sure
Yeah,
I take every precautionary measure there is to ensure that I won't get it. So I was kind of half and half. I didn't have my face mask on today, but I did have on my gloves, and I was able to run a few errands after work today. Um, I was able to take my dog to the vet, and I love the way they did service for that for my pet. They came to my car, got my pet. They had their gloves on, their face mask on. They took my payment over the phone, and also they returned my dog to me. So I didn't even have to go inside and wait. That reduced the number of customers that were coming inside of the building because there were none. The only people that were inside were the people who handled the building and the actual veterinarian. So I really, really like that. And then also when I left there, I went and picked up some fast food because I was having some downtime today, after a long stressful week at work. And I went to Specs, and that's when I saw, or before I went to Specs, sorry, I got fast food, and I noticed that they were telling us to put our debit cards inside of like a little container. They themselves, all the food preparers had gloves on too. And I said, see, in my mind, I said, that's the way you do it. That's the way you slow it down, because if citizens still have to get out and work, they still have to eat, they still have to go to the grocery stores, at least make sure that you're reducing the number of people who could potentially spread the virus, and make that number drop down to a minimum. Sorry, girl, I'm stuttering
yeah.
because my little 2-year-old is all over the place and I'm trying to get her under control. So
But
yeah,
I think that's all we can do at this point because unfortunately it's out here. But I think that's pretty much what I do believe. Like our mayor and our governor has definitely been trying to stress is let's at least minimize it. Stay at home if you can. Like me, like I said, I've been on PTO, but if I don't have to go anywhere, I'm doing my best not to go anywhere.
right. If you don't have to, don't do it. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's unfortunately one reason why this thing is still thriving is because so many people who don't have to leave their house are finding
Relief.
their
Hmm.
house.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was leaving out of my neighborhood area, I said to myself, it didn't seem like it's a pandemic because it was so many cars on the road. It was actually traffic today.
See, see,
Yeah,
it's
I was
it's
actually kind of shocked. And, and I'm over here self quarantining, and everybody out here living their best life.
oh yeah, it's crazy. I mean, but I think that's the whole thing. Like you said, I think that's really it. Is that if nothing else, we can slow this thing down if people would stay at home if they don't have to go anywhere. I will say too that I do want to put this out there for people. That gloves. It's one thing to wear the gloves, but you have to switch them out. People have no idea how easily it is to contaminate things with the gloves.
Right.
That's why,
Transfer. Yeah.
yeah, like in some instances, because I even have to catch myself. It's like in some instances you do better with just going places continuously putting hand sanitizer on your hand. Um,
Hmm.
because if you're not switching out those gloves and you're touching everything with the gloves, all you're doing is protecting yourself, but you're not
Right.
protecting necessarily anyone else who's coming behind you because you're contaminating things.
That's true. Just like the person who took my debit card with his gloves, it's important that I wipe off my debit card with hand sanitizer to ensure that
Yeah,
whatever things he transferred to my card, they don't come back to me. You know, so
yeah. But
that's
everybody's not thinking like that, and I just wanted to put that out there for our listeners. Um, Perhaps not who were one of those people who were just keeping on the gloves the whole time, going everywhere with the same pair of gloves on. Please stop it.
it's funny because you would think people would know better, but they don't, and it's
They
okay.
don't. It's yeah, because even my husband, he said he had to admit that he didn't know any better. And I know, unfortunately, especially if it's a lot of people who have no idea, and so I just wanted to definitely put that out there for people. And to my understanding, I did hear on the news the other day, a doctor actually he opened the door for people to ask questions, and one
Uh-huh.
of the questions was about the hand sanitizer, and he did state that of course, washing our hands with soap and water in conjunction with the hand sanitizer, they're both good. But he did say that the alcohol does kill the virus on sight. So as soon as you
Mm,
put that hand sanitizer on your hand, that alcohol is killing it right
right.
away. Versus soap, we have to wash our hands for 20 seconds, at least 20, 30 seconds at least to make sure that it's killing off any germs.
And you know what
But
I like? I like that they put a video out there to show people how long and exactly how they should be washing their hands. Because, there's grown people out here that don't know this. That you need to get
they
between
don't
your
know.
fingers when you wash. You need to get the
Yeah.
whole front and back inside. Like, these are things that should have been taught when they were 4 or 5 years old. But, some people missed it. But that's
Yeah,
okay.
they don't. It's a lot of
We're getting
yeah.
back
It's okay.
into it
It's a
right now.
yeah.
Mhm.
This is a learning experience for a lot of people. So I mean, that's just a little one-on-one on germs on how to prevent them.
That's right.
And
Right. Just
but yeah,
you
we
can't
have
see
to
them.
wash those hands,
Yeah.
use the hand sanitizer. Like I say, if you can't get no hand sanitizer, if you can get some alcohol, you can get you a little spray bottle. You can find a little spray bottle at Family Dollar and put you some alcohol in that spray bottle and spray your hands down. I don't even see nothing wrong with bleach because I know some people, they're having a hard time even finding alcohol. You may be having a hard time finding bleach.
Right.
You can disinfect. You can mix some bleach and water in a little spray bottle, like a little. I think it's the exact measurement is like the tenth of the bottle. Basically, you just want to fill up like the bottom of the spray bottle with bleach and put the
Mhm.
rest up with water. We'll still smell a little bleach. And that also is okay to disinfect your hands with, as long as you're not just putting the pure bleach on your hand. You can put
Right.
some bleach and water on your hand as well to disinfect.
It's so funny how people are getting super clean now. I hope it stays that way.
Oh yeah, I know that's right.
And I
That's
just
one
don't
thing.
know. Oh, go ahead.
No, but that's something else. Like I said about the huggers, how we may lose some huggers. I do believe on the upside too, we're gonna have some people who unfortunately were not the best on their hygiene, who are gonna become really good on their hygiene.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be. It's do or die,
Hmm.
literally.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, but I think it's interesting how some people are affected severely by this thing, and while others are just walking around like you and I right now, but they have the virus. It's so strange, like how it affects certain people, and it just lets you know that
Mm.
everybody's body is just so different. You know what I mean? Like I
Oh
just think
yeah,
that's
because
crazy.
that's just like you have um some individuals who for example, the spouse got the virus, but they tested the other spouse and the other spouse didn't have it.
Yeah, that's strange to me. I don't understand the behavior
But
of this thing, but I guess.
yes, unfortunately, they don't. The scientists and the doctors, they admit that they don't know it all either. And that's the thing that also can be scary because we've known our government to keep things from us as well.
Mhm.
So it's like, do they know and they're not telling us everything?
Yeah, that's probably why it's best just to keep your butts in the house. Okay?
Yes.
I'm real
Yes.
spacey. I think way out there. So I already said long time ago, what if this is like a low key space invasion? Like where, first the aliens drop off some type of virus to see how we react to it. See, I'm told you I'm way out there. But there's no way they can tell us that's what's going on, or people would lose their minds. You see how they acted just knowing that there was a simple virus out, right? Everybody bought up
Oh
all.
yeah.
Now imagine to add on top of that, oh yeah, and it wasn't anything found here on Earth. It was actually like from space. Because there's an alien civilization that's watching us all the time. There's nothing we can do about it. And they've been watching us since
Yeah.
1987. People are gonna lose
Yeah.
their mind. I just said that to lighten up the mood, y'all, whoever's listening. But I mean, seriously, it's you don't know. And it's not impossible for
Yeah.
that to happen because Earth is a ball in space. We're a part of it. We're part of the universe. You don't know. God didn't just stop with us. He created everything. So I just need NASA to stop putting our names and images out there in space. We don't know who these people are. We don't know what we're inviting back to the planet. But on the other note, I know that you and I had talked about this, and I know you were saying that you believe it comes from like more of an uninhibited place, like a cave area, and that maybe the virus was carried in a bat, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I've heard some scientists, of course, confirm this information on the news.
Oh,
Um,
good.
different people are saying different things, but to my understanding, there is actually a bat cave that has been there in China for years, and you know, it was basically something that they said was bound to happen, but it did not. My thing is, it did not have to reach the U.S.
Well, I've been saying that. I've been saying that this could have been slowed
It didn't
down
have to
months
reach the
ago.
U.S. Yeah, as soon as we heard about this, because we've been hearing about it on CNN, like what since back in January.
Mhm.
About I remember it when they first announced it on the news that they were dealing with this virus. That this doctor, he uncovered it and said that this is what the people have.
Mhm.
But we're still letting people travel back and forth here from China. Like, why didn't we stop people from put a travel ban up back
That's
in
right.
January?
I agree. I 100% agree, and only they can answer that, and they're probably not going
Yeah,
to. And
no,
that's
but
the truth. Yeah.
they should have freaked out right away because I was freaking out. So they
Mhm.
should have freaked out right away and put up the travel ban.
Did you also, and
And
you're right, I agree with that. I agree 100%. Did you read though about the cruise ships and how they didn't want to allow the cruise ships that were coming in to dock at Fort Lauderdale and other ports of the U.S.? Because there were sick people on the cruise ship, so they said any ships that have sick or dead people on the ships have to remain at sea. And I think the president pushed to get people who were local to Fort Lauderdale off the ship and back to their homes so they could self quarantine if need be. So I thought that was really interesting. Like it's serious if it gets like that.
oh yeah, I didn't read about it or hear about it, but I'm not surprised. And I
Hmm.
mean, it's like people don't know they didn't know what to do. I'm not mad at them because they didn't know what to do. They're just trying to prevent this thing from spreading anymore.
I could tell people didn't know what to do because it's like the whole city just froze for a moment. Like some things kept going, true. But a lot of normal activity that we're just used to, it slowed down a lot.
Oh yeah,
And I'm still trying to figure out what's considered an essential business versus a non-essential business.
I
Because
think we all are.
because I saw Barnes and Nobles open, and I'm like, that's not essential. Like,
Oh yeah,
so non-essential. Like they have online
that's what I said.
stores. They come on now.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand too what's considered essential because some of this stuff is not essential and they're open. They're just collecting they check
Exactly.
pretty much because like you just said, Barnes and Noble people order books offline from you guys all the time.
Yeah. It's just like, you can go on Barnes and Noble, Amazon.com, wherever to get your book. You can do
But
that.
obviously, it's at the owner's discretion. I'm taking it on if they want to. clothes are not, and unless you're like a beauty supply store, obviously, or a beauty shop or a club or bar. Of course, you're mandated pretty much to be closed.
Right. I just hate it for the small businesses because there's this one place I
Oh yeah,
really like called Thai Fried Rice. Oh, girl, they make the best fresh chicken tom yum soup. And when I tell you they have been closed since the beginning of last month because of all this stuff. And
but
these
see,
small, Mhm.
they could have still stayed open, but they probably couldn't afford to pay their workers.
And that's the thing. It's a mom and pop shop, and it was just the mom,
Yeah,
the literally the mom and the pop was cooking all the food. So I think it's because they're older and they didn't want to be exposed to the potential,
yeah,
threat
yeah,
of who could be coming into the door. Like you just never know. So they just closed it down. So that's like a month worth of losses right there. And from what I
yeah, yeah.
understand, people won't be back in motion until after April 30th. And that's only if,
And that's
yeah.
yep. I was just about to say that.
So, and also, I know
We
personally a couple of people who have already lost their jobs just that
and
fast.
yeah.
So it's kind of
This
like
is really
it's a
yeah.
snowball
It's a
effect.
real. Mhm.
Because I'm thinking to myself, okay, these companies they start firing people. I understand why because they don't have enough money for all the overhead. But then what? Then what are these people that are being fired? What do they do? Because are we just gonna stop mortgage payment, rent payments, and things like that until we get back on our feet? Like
I
what's
know,
going on?
right?
We have to balance this out. It can't be everybody's losing their job, but they don't have money to pay. So now they're homeless. You know how many homeless people we would have?
But yeah, but at the same time, I guess a lot of these people look at it like, for example, these grocery stores are hiring. They want the help because they have so many people still coming in their stores. You have places that are still hiring.
That's true.
So
Some.
I guess it just
But
also depends on the person.
that's true. But I mean, you know what I'm saying too. You know,
Yeah, I do. That's what I say. It goes both ways. So I'm not judging anybody. Period. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out
that
there. It's
there's
like you
options.
can't
Yeah.
win for losing.
And also that there's still options out there for people who may have lost their jobs. Like I know HEB, Walmart, all of those are hiring right now.
Yeah, yeah. Kroger's. That's what I said. All these stores. Hell, I heard Kroger's make an announcement over the loudspeaker while I was in there shopping one day,
Kroger's
saying
out the
they're
chain.
hiring. Yes.
Kroger's is out the chain. Every time I go into Kroger's, they never cease to surprise me. There's something else. I told you that one time for Valentine's Day, I came in there and it was playing all that music. That man was dipping those strawberries with chocolate. Mm,
Yeah.
I'm done with Kroger's. They are too much.
But I mean, that is, yeah, that's, I mean, so but this is affecting so many different people. So, I mean, in all seriousness, I really do hope more people are praying. I
Yeah.
know, I know me, I'm definitely finding myself praying more,
Hmm.
because this is just so much. It's so many different people of all walks of life who are seriously being affected by this. I mean, I know someone personally who really has to go up there and to HISD, and they need to take advantage of that food. They're making it work with the food that they give them, and we know that school food ain't the best, but
Exactly.
they're having to make it work. I mean, so this is affecting so many people in so many different ways, and I just really, really, really pray that people would just keep the faith. Um, not to beat anybody over the head with the Bible, but I must say, the Word of God does say that if we humble ourselves and pray, He will heal the land. So
Oh
if
yes.
you're praying, please start
And to piggyback off what Nikki just said, I mean, there's a lot of non-believers out there as well, and I get that to each his own. But if you look around and see what's going on in the world, Africa was just battling a severe locust problem. All while we're fighting this
praying.
coronavirus. So I think that if you are not a believer, then at least you will believe in spirituality, which I think
Yeah,
they're one and the same. But some people may believe that it's separate. Either way, you need to take out this time with yourself if you choose to. and, really meditate, pray, whatever it is that you do best, and really, really come to
Mhm.
self and try to understand yourself, love on your family, the ones that you're at least allowed to come into contact with, and just, really pray and meditate that, like Nikki said, that this world will come back to good health. Because really, when you think about it, there's been so much going on this planet, and we just been tearing it down left and right. I believe, I am a believer that sometimes the earth, it's like, look, I gotta heal myself. You know what I mean? Because I've been so damaged by people who just throw plastic in the ocean. Been so damaged by all these wild bushfires. I don't know if you were keeping up in 2019. Brazil had so many wildfires down there. I mean, burned up almost 80% of their greenery in some regions. Like there's just, you have a
Mhm.
lot of human trafficking going on. You have all these bad things, that's going on. That becomes more of a biblical realm where God comes back and he shows us who's in charge. And he
Yeah.
shows us that these
That's. I
things
mean.
cannot continue to happen without some type of
Yeah.
consequence. So, Anika,
Yeah.
I'm 100% on board with what you said, and I advise people to get on their knees and pray. I think even Michael Pence said that on a CNN interview. He said, "What I think y'all need to do is start getting on your knees," because he knew what was coming to the U.S. was not something to play with. So if a
Oh yeah.
politician says that, come on now. But you guys
Oh
can
yeah.
believe
Oh
what you
yeah.
want to believe. But I think now is the time to, do a lot of self meditation, a lot of praying, a lot of,
Oh yeah.
positive affirmations, and just really take that time to better yourself as well. Think about some of the shortcomings you may have. Think about things you could be working on. Keep yourself busy. I know there's a lot of people out there that suffer from, some type of mental illness. Make sure that you're staying in contact with your counselor or with your doctor, through the cell phone or your telephone, and make sure that you're keeping your prescriptions up. Because I know that right now, and being in isolation for some, who don't have family at their house, who don't have children, they don't have anybody to talk to. It's just them. This can be a very hard time for those people. And we're keeping you guys in our prayers because I understand, and Nikki, we all understand how that can
Oh
be.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So we just
Yeah.
want you to
Yeah.
know that we're always going to be here to talk. If you want to send us an email or chat with us on Instagram, Nikki, you want to give them your Instagram?
Yeah. Of course. My Instagram is Nikki Giovanni 28. So NikkiGiovanni 28. So Instagram me there. Honestly, I also want to. I honestly, this is something that me and Danielle have discussed in private, and something I definitely am saying. Like this is the season I got to do it. Danielle, I've talked to you about previously starting my own podcast, even,
Mm-hmm.
and so I want everybody to be on the lookout for that because on that podcast, that's what I'm definitely going to be doing is motivating you, keeping you encouraged in this season.
Yes.
Because one thing about it, we know we're going to come out of this. We're going to come out of this. And that's what we need everybody to be mindful of. We're going to come out of this, and like Danielle said, I totally agree. In the meanwhile, take advantage of this time to spend more time with your family, love on your family. Read. Like today, I was reading. I was reading, a regular book. I did some devotion. I prayed. I worshiped. I even had the amazing opportunity of connecting with a spiritual coach. So
Mhm.
find things to do to feed yourself, to just take advantage of this opportunity because everything happens for a reason.
Yes, ma'am, it does. It surely does. I love that you said that. And that's amazing. So you hear what Nikki just said. That's a lot of self-love. She just told y'all she did for
Oh
herself.
yeah.
And that's what we need to focus on during these times of quote unquote social distancing. I don't even like to even use that term because I think that the greatest love of all is self-love. Nobody can love you the way
Oh
you love
yeah.
you. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of people that suffer from depression, they may not be able to relate to this statement, but keep pushing yourself. Keep pushing yourself to find ways to love you. And then eventually you'll see where we're coming from. You'll understand that space and that place of love that we're speaking from right now. And so
Mhm.
I want to just end, this show by just saying we appreciate every last one of our listeners who always tunes into Sisters Talk podcast. We know we've been a little rocky lately, but there's been so much change in the atmosphere that
Yeah. Yeah.
and Nikki and I, we both have full-fledged families now, so we have a lot going on, and we're in full-time jobs. Let's not forget about that. So
Yes.
it's all about balancing, and I'm just thankful, Nikki, that you were able to take out a little bit of your time. Thank you for sharing some of your self time with me tonight, just to talk to everybody.
Oh yeah.
And
Yes,
I just
definitely.
I just want to leave everybody with one thing. If for some reason you feel like you're coming down with something, I am not a doctor. I am not an expert. And what I'm about to say does not mean that I am going to give you the ingredients for healing. Okay, that's my disclaimer because I don't have time to get sued. Okay, coronavirus is taking over every job that's out there. Anyway, I just want to say that make sure you boil yourself some hot tea. And if you don't have the actual tea package, make sure you slice you up some garlic, lemon, drizzle you some honey in there. And if you need a little bit of sugar for taste, but not too much, and make sure you drink all of that hot tea. Make sure you go and get you some Theraflu. Do whatever it takes to knock that feeling out of your body and pray. Drink plenty of water. And again, I am not a doctor. I'm telling you now, I'm not telling you this is going to heal you, but I know that this will help build your immune system,
Mhm.
help fight anything
Mhm.
that you have going on inside of you that's breaking down. And so I hope and pray that everybody stays safe. I hope that you guys take out the time you need for yourself. Don't let these jobs overwork you because they will try. At the end of the day, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. No amount of money, no
Yep.
amount of money can change your health status. Well, that's a lie. Maybe it can for some of these billionaires, but I'm saying for
Oh
an
yeah.
average person, that's it's just not going to change your situation. And even I think Steve Jobs said, God rest his soul, before he passed, that he realized that no amount of money can replace your life and your health. He would trade all the money in the world to have replaced his health at the time that he was on his deathbed. So that says a lot. Make sure you're not stressing
Mhm.
yourself out. Make sure that you're getting enough rest, enough liquids, and stay away from people with a cough. No, I'm kidding about the last part. Yeah,
But for sure, guys, make sure we know you guys are in the house. Try not to eat a bunch of junk food. We got to keep our immune system strong. Like Danielle has basically been saying, you got to keep your immune system strong. So it's cool, eat you some chips and ice cream here and there, but let's not go overboard. Let's remember our fruits and veggies, and you know, keeping, like she said, drinking a lot of water. Making sure you taking your vitamins so we can keep our immune system strong.
absolutely. Absolutely. So you look, her screaming is my time to go. But yes, I enjoyed talking to you tonight, Nikki. You stay safe out there, and
You
so
too. You
until we meet again, I don't know if it's gonna be
yes,
this month or the next.
all right.
But yeah, stay safe. Tell the family we said hi, and thank you guys for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. Y'all be safe out there.
Good night.